Coming off of a game that saw us put together a fantastic first half performance offensively, where we had Bo Harold running around a little bit. He scored first on a read option, and then of all people, the one and only touchdown pass you would throw in this game, finding our starting linebacker in the back corner due to a tight end injury. But after that point, going into the second half, things definitely started to slow down. Offense couldn't quite get much going, and after a late third quarter interception, it was straight downhill from there, giving up 17 unanswered points to the Texans and losing 17-14. Now, as we take on a division rival here in the Cardinals, as we battle it out for last place in the NFC West, we talked a little bit at the end of the last episode about making a change at the offensive line, and we're going to give it a try in this episode to see if it's going to work. And we will be starting Williams at left tackle. We talked about all of our different options, whether it would be Williams, Hobart, potentially moving over some of the other starting linemen. I ended up going with Williams, and it came down to really one rating, and that's the lead block. We have struggled at running to that left-hand side, especially in the second half of the last game. First half was really solid, but second half, I don't know. They just couldn't do it. So David Williams has an 89 lead block. Pretty good awareness as well compared to who else we have. The run block and pass block, they're pretty well even. So we'll give him a shot on the outside today, see how well he does, and if he doesn't do all too well, then we can very much make some changes. Now, speaking of offensive linemen, as we've talked about, I'm keeping my own stats for the offensive line specifically this season. And it was a really poor showing for David Andrews last game. He came into that game with no stats at all, and he left with 3 hits given up and a sack. Now, he did get injured early on, so we're going to say maybe it was a lingering injury in that game as the reason why he didn't do all too well. We also struggled with some run blocking. Now, they were sending a lot of blitzes, and we weren't getting to that second or even third level when it came to our blocks. But when it came to just giving up quick sheds along the offensive line, allowing the defensive linemen to make the plays, we did have 3 run stops given up, 1 by Dickinson, who's going to be benched, 1 by McAllister at center, and then I've just grouped the tight ends as one group because we're going to start holding them a little bit more accountable. Now, we are getting back Tommy Tremble in this one. Parkinson started last week, and he was pretty solid in that role, so he's looking pretty good as tight end too. But that is what it looks like for the offensive line. So Williams is going to go into the starting line. Andrews, need to see him step up his play and just more consistency across the board. We also started to talk a little bit about the defensive line. And again, that's another group that hasn't been all too consistent. They've made some plays, but not consistently. And we're going to be getting back Luke Peak in this game. But up to this point, Johnny Smith is leading us in tackles for loss with 5. Not awful. It's about 1 a game for him. As for the next guy, you're going to have Nick Bell, only 2. A little bit further down, Bonito has only gotten back there once and has only recorded half a sack so far this season. So he's not started off very well. Johnny Smith has done all right. Nick Bell, not what you would hope for from a 6 overall pick. As for, like, talking about Bonito, not really doing a whole lot. And Kobe Turner in his limited time didn't rack up any sort of tackles for losses or sacks, but he was semi-involved, hoping to see a nice boost with Luke Peak. But speaking of boosts, we have 2 breakout opportunities, one for 1 DB, and then we also have a tandem breakout. And this one is for the safety in Lamont Swain. Did not expect that coming off a game where we saw Rice and Conley both get a pick. But Lamont Swain is going to either have to, by himself, get either 1 interception, forced fumble, tackle for a loss, or sack, or the defense in general is going to have to hold the Cardinals to less than 200 passing yards. As for the tandem breakout opportunity, we have Conley and Rice. So Conley is coming to us saying Rice played really well. Rice has definitely improved his play this season. Conley, what do we want to go with here? Praise, get a ratings boost, or challenge and get an interception bonus goal? Let's try to go big or go home here. So let's hope he could get another interception and see if that's all he needs. Well, first off, Rice has earned 2,500 XP, and then Conley will need to get a combined 2+ interceptions and pass deflections, and he will get something. Hopefully that's a development boost. Plus, we also get extra bonus with how many interceptions he does end up getting. He had his first career one last game. Gonna need to see some more against the Arizona Cardinals. Their offense, not fantastic, though they are running the ball pretty well. I'm assuming that's mostly going to be Kyler Murray scrambling. They have the 21st passing game, 11th offensive points per game, but 5th in rushing yards. Now this year, we've actually taken a step back defensively in stopping the run. Last year, I want to say we were around top 10, or a lot of the times we were stopping the run pretty well. We're at 26. It's actually the passing defense that's doing really well, currently 2nd in the league. Meanwhile, our offense is dead last in every category, and it's time we change that. Myers is set to kick this one off. It will be that offense out first. Behind a return from Williams, trying to find some blockers. None really show up for him, though. It looks like we're going to get a face mask penalty to help us out. So instead of starting back at the 20, starting at the 35, a lot better field position here. And we're going to go straight at this left side of the line, following behind Williams. Good block from DeGuara. Akers picks up 6. And that's just what we're going to need to see just consistently. We, again, started last week running the ball pretty well. It was the second half where things really dropped off, as we're going to try to roll out here, and luckily that one's dropped. I was hoping DeGuara would continue his route, but he cut it off. And we just have to feel a little bit lucky that the defender didn't cut off our drive. So 3rd and 4. Hard count, no one jumps. We're going to have Palmer downfield. It was nearly a greatly placed ball by Harold. Instead, a better bit of defending by Williams. But as we're up to the 41 here, I would like to be aggressive early on. Again, we're battling for last place in our division. We're last place across the board in terms of what our offense does, as we get this ball out to Akers and just squeezes out that first down. The problem is, we know what this team can do well. It's just if they can do it consistently and if they can play an entire game. That's been the problem. As Akers with a good carry this time, gain of 7, and we're still attacking that left side of the line. We know the right side is going to be a little bit more favorable for us, but we need to test out that left side and see if Williams is the answer at tackle for at least this year as we get the ball to Palmer. He does take a little bit of a hit, but holds on for the first. We also need to do a little bit of a better job of trying to get Nacua going in the slot. He's been missing of the last few games, and he's not on the field for this play. As we get the screen out, pick up 1 block, break a tackle close to the first down, 2nd and inches. And from there, we'll go back to the heavier set. Strong eye here, gonna attack that right side of the line. Good block picked up by Smith, and we barely get the first down, but unfortunately, Parkinson a bit shaken up. Couldn't tell if it's a rib, maybe even shoulder injury. He'll head to the bench for now, which is a good sign. So in his place, we'll see Charles step out as we come out with 2 tight ends to that left-hand side. The lone receiver, Palmer, off to the right for a little bit of some play action. Try to get out to Akers, but not enough time to throw that one away. Defender did well to contain the outside. Can't really credit the sack to Williams there. It was a rollout pass. As we try to find a cutback lane, Akers bursts through the middle, picking up a gain of 6, leaving another 3rd and 4. Now we have some options here as we come out spread. Have 2 guys going deep, Jarrett and Palmer. Nacua as the safety. Trimble also an interesting route concept here, depending what the safeties do. But we're going to go Nakua's way, who will get the grab and get picked up, but he will land fairly softly. Just need to see a little bit more of that from Nacua. He's a solid guy across the middle most of the time. We can look for him at that front left pylon. Also have Palmer going over the top, but we're going to go Nacua. The ball placement is not what we needed, though. Well out of bounds, missing out on a clear opportunity. And those aren't ones we could afford to miss out on all too often as we pop up. Trimble, not gonna get the catch. Buda Baker knocks it free. Try to spice things up with a little bit of some RPO. Does not work. They roll down the safety to the right-hand side. So let's change things up a little bit. We're gonna have Trimble go on the quick in. Gonna roll out Akers. Jarrett could also head straight downfield. See what opens up for us as quick pass rush from the left-hand side, knocked away by the linebacker Ojulari. If this was anything closer than a 4th and 10, we might go for it, but instead we'll trot out Brown, trying to at least take a lead here at the end of the first drive. And that kick is right down the middle, so it will be 3 points. Wanted the touchdown, clearly, but we'll settle for some points and a lead. But now as the Cardinals head out for their first offensive possession, main focus today, stop the run of A.J. Dillon and keep Kyler Murray in the pocket as much as possible. So they actually start with a pretty good play through the air after breaking the first tackle, picking up the first down. And Njoku, now the #1 tight end for the Cardinals with that catch, as they bring out 3 total tight ends on this play. Dillon down the middle, picks up 5. And with them having a bell cow at the backfield spot, we might stick with some heavier looks today just to try to deal with it. As it's a play action roll, they will find their tight end with a first down, headed down the sideline before Murray meets him at the 37. There have been a few tight ends in this series to give us problems, and Hayden Hurst has been one of them. He makes the play on that play as they go with a stretch to the outside. Dillon outruns the first defender. Nice tackle by Adebo, but there is a flag down, and it looks like this will back him up, holding on the Cards. Now, one good thing with the Cardinals not having a fantastic passing game, I expect we should do pretty well in getting that 200 or less passing yards. And that could go a long way in helping us develop Conley in the slot. Maybe even provide some opportunity for some outside play if need be, but right now he is our slot receiver, and across the middle, Njoku holds on to it. Graham read it, just a little bit slow to react. What we really need is a quick pass rush today. Bonito's going to be our fastest guy off the line, and if he doesn't really get going, again, no full sacks. He has half a sack this season. But if we don't see more from him, we might need to start rotating there. We do have a rookie with a really high finesse move, I think. He's lacking elsewhere, but he has some good speed as Dillon down the middle picks up the first. And from there, they'll switch things out, going with a heavy set, bringing up the backup running back with a lane and some beautiful blocking. And Nick Bonito also shaken up on the play. And the early indications aren't good for Bonito. They say dislocated elbow. He's going to be missing some time. So we will definitely be having to rotate someone out there, as that pass came up about 20 yards short. But it's supposed to go to Palmer deep downfield. They break the tackle. And Isaiah Rodgers has him inside the red zone. That is not how you want to end the quarter. Just giving up the touchdown and immediately giving them possession right back. As they roll, going towards the end zone and overthrowing out of the back. Just not quite sure why Bo Harold struggles so much. Coming out of college, he was graded really highly to have a really good throw on the run, throw under pressure, but we haven't seen it. But Kyler having to scramble here will pick up the first down before Graham gets the tackle. And already back to a 1st and goal as they stick with a heavier set, attacking Graham's side, and again the blocking absolutely beautiful, or just a lack of a push on our defensive line. We need to see some big plays from this offense quickly here. Down 14-3 at the beginning part still of the second quarter, rolling out a bad throw. It's just a simple dump off, and now Cam Akers a little bit shaken up as well. And with him headed to the locker room, we're going to need to see a little bit more here from the receiver core, and hopefully a little bit some of the tight ends as well, as Tommy Tremble actually finds some space, picking up that first down. Just need to see Bo Harold just take what the defense gives us. And hopefully the offensive line also helps us out a little bit along the way, as early indications are chaotic right now, apparently, as we look at the play yard, and a bad pass once again from under pressure, and on top of it, Bo Harold slow to get up. He's actually going to have to leave the field. So really bad. We lose our #1 running back and quarterback as Kirk Cousins head out for 2nd and 10. Just needing to try to control this game a little bit here. Gibson can't squeeze it. Buda Baker knocks it free. So on 3rd and 10 already. A lot stacked against us. We had Nakua. Kirk Cousins couldn't even put it in his vicinity. And we'll have to punt. Right now this team needs the defense to step up, and we haven't seen much of anything from Luke Peak so far. As they go down the middle, Dillon breaks the first tackle, picks up 4. And they'll come out a little bit spread on 2nd and 6, 2 off to the left. Run a little bit of some play action. Going downfield, Rice gets lucky, was not in good positioning. Bounces off the hands of Brown. So on 3rd and 6, a great opportunity to get off the field here. Double A gap, we send the blitz right down the seam, and once again we get lucky. The pressure in the face of Murray throws off the throw, and he had Njoku for a whole lot of yardage, but they'll punt. And as the offense heads back out, it's Kirk Cousins leading them. Doctors say right now it's questionable, and if we're going to see Harold return with a high ankle sprain. And we'll definitely not be seeing Cam Akers return in this game. How long he's going to be out, we will find out at the end. As we go out for Palmer, but a flag comes in, potential DPI here. Yeah, they're going to give it to us. Even the refs tired of seeing how bad this offense has been. They're trying to get us going. Good injury note, Parkinson is back out there, so at least not too big of an injury. That time, though, the ball pops free. The Cards jump on it quickly as Kinlaw recovers at the 27. Buda Baker with an amazing play there as Gibson was stood up, comes in, knocks the ball out, and now the Cards will take over offensively. Going with a stretch to the weak side, it's Curse, the lone guy. At least slows him down enough to have Graham get over there to get the stop, but another first down given up. Now, I definitely came into this game thinking that Murray was a big chunk of why their running game was so good, but it's really just been Dillon and some really good blocking. As they go back to him, not going to break through the combined tackle of Curse and Murray Jr. But once again, turnovers being a root cause of the destruction of this team. As we're down multiple scores already, getting trucked for another first down inside the 5. All momentum very much on the side of the home team here. Defense is going to have to force something as they go to Dillon, who will get stopped that first contact, though they're still down to the 1. Defense has struggled at the goal line this year as the rookie forces the cutback to the other rookie, who actually gets the tackle for loss in Solomon. I will say with his play time, he's been actually pretty solid. Just need to see a little bit more of it. As they're going to find a cutback lane, Dillon, who forces the early tackle, then hurdles over Murray Jr. to give him a 3-score lead. And we really need to find some points, a lot of them, in a quick amount of time, as there's 2:39 on the clock. We're going back to Gibson, breaks 1 tackle, but not going to get away from the group. And we might be getting to a point where some roster deconstruction and construction during the season might need to happen as Cousins rolls out, gets rid of it, but he still takes the shot. I know we've talked a little bit about a trade for CJ Stroud, even a little bit for some DTs, but we might need to see what all of our possibilities are after this game, as I can't even think of a word with how good it is of a block there by Andrews, D. Cleater, as we get the first down. An injury is in for Kinlaw, as we also hit the 2-minute warning. Now, we don't have a strong arm here in Cousins. I want to say his throw power is down to an 82 at this point in his career, though he could still apparently launch it. Downfield, Palmer drops it. Just when you think we have it. Not quite. 2nd and 10, go back to the running game here. Try to find some space. Gibson down after first contact, picking up 6. We'll get back to the line fairly quickly, though. Get everything lined up for a 3rd and 4. Stepping up, gonna find Jarrett. That was a well-timed ball by the quarterback in Cousins. Still out there again due to the injury to our starting quarterback, Bo Harold, though. Neither one of them have started this game off well. Cousins at least trying to turn things around. Also trying to do something against this really bad. Well, can you actually get downfield maybe? Tommy? Got a hand on it, but still doesn't catch of it. 2 of 7 for Kirk Cousins. What I was meaning to say is this momentum is just awful. You should be able to at least see what plays you're running, because true veterans aren't going to actually forget what play that they've called. As we go nowhere on 2nd down, leaving 3rd and 9. About 40 seconds and counting here. We do have all of our timeouts, but we need a 1st down if we really want to use them, and the blitz timed up perfectly. 3rd and 9 at the 33, we should probably take the points. With a 50-yard attempt in front of him, Brown will head out. The holder also Cousins, because we don't have that 3rd-string quarterback, and Brown is 2 of 2 with all 6 of our points in this one. But what is vital here is we do not let the Cardinals score any points before half, as they also start with the ball after halftime. Going with a halfback screen, quickly read by Murray Jr., loss of 4. You would just like to think that maybe 1-2 steps quicker, and that might be a pick 6 going the opposite way. They will run one last play, just getting trucked again, and Njoku shucking off everyone. That's how we'll head into halftime. A very poor first half from this offense put the defense in bad spots several times, where most of their points have come off of, as the Cardinals lead 21-6 at halftime. A lot of work to do going forward, and we're going to have to do it with QB2, most likely, running back 2. A lot not going our way, as a close matchup here for the Panthers, taking on the 49ers. Panthers up 17-14 at half, despite Bryce Young not having any stats recorded. Probably broken Madden there, not actually no stats. As we move over to the Seahawks matchup, taking on the Texans. It's a big win for the Seahawks atop this division. 27-9, they move to 4-1. Lastly, taking a look at the Chargers, who are currently tied 7-7 against the Raiders, moving on into half. Neither one of these teams really separating themselves, even while looking at the stats. Though that's pretty much the opposite of what we've seen in our game. As the boot is through, 2nd half underway, Cardinals elect for the fair catch. We'll start at the 25, as A.J. Dillon has really put together a fantastic performance. But stopping him is very much going to be the main focus this 2nd half, as they're already up several possessions. I don't imagine they pass often. And even when we focus on him, send the blitz, still picks up 9. He's averaging close to 5 yards a carry, as we have a 2nd and 1. Murray will throw this time. Going deep across the middle has Njoku, but once again off target. We've been getting pretty lucky on some of their deep shots, but they've come up just a little bit off, as we knock that one free. Conley, that's one of those pass breakups. He needs 2 combined, if I'm remembering correctly. The defense does well, gets their stop, and they can head off the field. For the offense to come out, Kirk Cousins is leading us to start this 2nd half. As we go Gibson's way, trying to find some space, but it's still a loss. I need to try to change things up a little bit. Go for some short, maybe some medium passes. Make them quick, get the ball out about as fast as we can. Dumping this one off. Gibson, fish back to the line. Offense just struggling to find something that works for him in this game. As we go back to some play action. Going across the middle, it's behind Jarrett, but he makes a good adjustment. And we just need to build upon that. If we could clean it up a little bit along the way too, that would be nice. The defense is stacking the box here. Need to find a way to get them a little bit backed up. Going back to Jarrett again. Good adjustment once again. Ball placement has definitely not been fantastic, but we're working with what we have, trying to set up the tight end screen. We had blocking for the tight end, not for Kirk. Defense still trying to provide a lot of pressure. They're sending more than just 3 or 4 every single time. As we have some space here, Gibson will pick up some yardage, as Parkinson, and once again going to take a knee. This time it does look a little bit more severe. He'll head to the locker room, leaving us with 3rd and 1. Just need a quick drag across the middle. We get it. Palmer also takes top of the helmet to the chin, but he holds on for that first. And we'll go back to some more play action here. We are starting to back up the defense a little bit, and we had Palmer Kirk, you got to make that throw. You're a veteran quarterback. We're a little bit more patient with the young guys, but when you're a veteran quarterback who's nearly set records for quarterback accuracy, you got to do better. Luckily, we do pick up 9 with Gibson, leaving another 3rd and 1. But we will shake it up here on this 3rd, and it looks like a long one. They're stacking the middle. We're going to Guara, who's going to leak out to the left-hand side with a first down, fighting too close to the 11. We just need to get the ball in the end zone here. Will be a big boost for us moving forward in this game. As we're going to motion over Charles to this left-hand side. Going to go with some more play action, see if we can find some space. DeGuara to the flats. We'll get the catch in a few yards. We have to be prepared. If we get the touchdown, going for 2 is nearly necessary, very necessary here. Not really nearly. It's a good time to do so as we have a little bit of some motion, try to get some lead blocks. Gibson stood up, Buda Baker. And on 3rd and 5, really 4-down territory here. Need to find a little something. As we dump this one off, a late release, Tommy Tremble will walk into the end zone. Pass rush was getting home. We found our guy just in the nick of time, and we might have ourselves a game. Though there is still plenty of work to do. 2-point try now. Try to make this a 7-point ball game. As nowhere to go. Manned up everyone. And the blitz hits home. Well, let's not let that take away from some momentum we started to build, or more so chip away from the Cardinals. Still a little bit on their side as they head out for their offensive possession. Did well on our last one. Need to see more of that as a tag team sack. Luke Peak causes the spin back in, and we get the stop. Loss of 4. With both Peak and Bell in the middle, we should be dominant there, but they've struggled to find that, at least consistently. Just need to do a little bit more there as they swing it out. Going to be a catch and another broken tackle. Gain of about 8, leaving 3rd and 5 for an empty set. Murray, alone in the backfield, a couple hard counts, no one jumps. Sitting in the pocket, going across the middle, and he finds his man Brown, who shakes the tackle, shakes another, and he is gone. The tackling has been horrendous today, and it doesn't show signs of getting any better. And somehow on top of it all, they're going for a 2-point here. Stretch to the outside, a good stop by Smith. Thought they were about to get it, but it is still a 27-12 game. And if they're gonna score that quickly, so will we. As once again, Cousins out there to lead us, going to a little bit of some play action. We have Palmer, though that ball placed too far downfield, and it gets picked off by Jalen Thompson. I don't know what it is, but that route, none of our quarterbacks can hit it. It's always incorrectly thrown, and it costs us here and could cost us a whole lot, though. There we go. Luke Peak with a tackle for a loss of 1. What we need is this defense to force a turnover as they head out with a 3-receiver set, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. We'll swing it out as there's not great man coverage, though we have 4 defenders in the area. Tells me we probably weren't having great man coverage elsewhere. But we could get off the field here on a 3rd and 9 as time will probably expire here in the 3rd quarter during the transition. As Murray's going to step up, meets Murray, and somehow runs through it? Kyler is not that guy. Run around people, sure, juke people out, spin out, but run through. Especially against what I'm pretty sure is a former college teammate, I doubt it. But as we start the 4th quarter, it is a 15-point game with a lot of work for us to do, and we've struggled to show any signs of doing a whole lot, though. That one goes straight to Rice, a bad throw, cutting back towards the middle, trying to find a lane. Not gonna break away from the group, but maybe that is a positive sign. We got ourselves a 4th quarter, perhaps. But at the end of the day, it's gonna come down to this offense making the plays, something that they just really cannot do. As we get it out to Nakua, gain of 4. Honestly feels like a Hail Mary just getting that gain. But we gotta find ways to build upon it, as Nakua very quickly lets up a rush, and we're gonna lose some yards directly after it. Try to get back to the line quickly here. They're gonna bring down Buda Baker to the right-hand side. Let's slide protection that way. Need all the time we can get as they end up not actually bringing Buda Baker. Going towards the sideline. Not a great throw from Cousins, and Nakua drops it. Not often he does that. We've gotten pretty fortunate this game getting some calls on some similar plays like that for DPI, but we don't get it there. And now on 4th and 8, we need at least 8. Trying to step up in the pocket. No time to throw. Sack comes in from Thomas. It's going to be a turnover on downs. We do nothing with the Rice INT. And I'm sure the tweets would be coming in at this point, calling for a new quarterback, calling for some changes along this defensive line. And those might need to happen at the start of next episode, because we definitely need to find something to spark some life in this team. I still think the defense is on the better end of the two sides. They have some key guys, but the defensive line is definitely not doing their part. And we could do with finding ourselves an edge rusher, a DT. I mean, someone just to help out multiple different levels of this team. Though Smith misses the sack. Graham comes diving in, and we will get the sack. Barely, however, still going to be in field goal range. And with this field goal, would make it an 18-point game, as it's going to be around a 53-yarder. That one is up. It's looking true. Had plenty of power. And it will be 18 points. And apparently following the last drive, we saw enough of Kirk Cousins. Bo Harold says he's good to go. He's coming out to help try to lead this squad. Takes a hit on the very first play back. As we set up a screen, picking up 8. We're going to have to run quickly here. Also, one thing to note, Marshall out at the left receiver spot, taking over for Palmer, who just wasn't getting a whole lot done as that pass lofted and then knocked away. It's definitely one thing we struggle with, is delivering the ball in a manner which is going to have the receiver catch and run. As we have a 3rd and 2, going with a quick throw to the outside. Jarrett bumps off Charles. It wasn't a well-thrown ball either way, but we definitely needed that not to happen. As it's 4th and 2, we're bringing out Zonovan Knight. Going to try to set up a run. He finds a cutback lane. Buda Baker gets the stop, but not after we pick up that first. Again, going to get back to the quick game here. Bringing down Buda Baker again. Going to have a little bit of some play action. They don't actually send him on the blitz. We go out wide. Going to find Charles with a nice possession grab at about midfield. And with that first down, we'll keep with a similar look. They'll sub out some receivers. Guys need a little bit of a breather. Try to step up in this pocket. Roll out. Loft it downfield. It's Davis who drops it. It hit him square in the hands. With about 4 minutes left in this one, it would take a lot to try to find a winner, but we just want to try to find something to build upon as a sack comes in. That one's going to get given to David Andrews. Needed to do better there. Had 2 free offensive linemen not blocking anyone at the end. Leaving 3rd and 12. And once again, trying to step up in the pocket. We just lofted out there. Easily knocked away. Now David Andrews shaken up. That leaves us with a 4th and 12. We have going into the season now with 2 backup offensive linemen out there. And they read the halfback screen, and it's going to be a pick. Bad throw out to Nakua. They start at the 50. And that could very well possibly be with the last time we see this offense as we've been building it. Definite changes clearly need to be made. Also, if we could hire someone to teach this team to tackle cleanly, that would be great. I mean, obviously the team struggled a little bit with injuries in this game for sure, but you can't blame all that on the outcome of this one. You're going to have injuries in games. You just got to do much better. Solomon, great tackle there. I think if we could pair the current defense we have, meaning the linebackers and the DBs, with a stronger defensive line, I feel like the defense can make some waves. But it's just going to come down to what do we have to give up to make some of that happen. Do we do it this year? Do we wait? Probably should do it this year. That's my feeling. Try to see if at least the moves that we make, see how well they work, as we do get the stop here on 3rd down. Though they expect they could hit a very long field goal, near 60-yarder. As Myers heads out, we'll back up Swain for a possible return. That has the power, and I'm pretty sure he just nailed that one. A very rivalry type of move there from the Cardinals to go up 33-12. So we will at least see this offense one last time here. Looking for just something. That's all we're looking for. Just something. As we're rolling out, try to find something. No, throwaway sucks. I would say the ratings that we have for Bo Harold compared to the play that we see from him, they really don't match. I was going to toss this one up, look for a back shoulder. Marshall didn't really come up close. But with this loss, we will solidify ourselves at the bottom of the division, starting the year 1-4, as the Cardinals move to 2-3. There's been some things here and there where we've done, but just not a whole lot of consistency, as that pretty much tops this whole thing off. Wide open receiver off the fingertips. And of course it comes on a play where Bo Harold actually ran it pretty well, stepped up in the pocket, used his blockers, delivered a well-placed ball. Just not... Yeah, okay, that's even better of a way to finish this one. Needed that to be a couple feet or so taller, as now George McAllister also injured. We've lost 3 offensive linemen this game. But the whole team will be right behind him to head into the locker room, as that is where we will end this one. An absolutely awful showing. Offense just managed 12 points. Defense, I would say at times they did well, and then at other times they really struggled. Against the run, they were bad today. We got lucky in the passing game here and there. Maybe that'll help out Conley. No interception for him. He did get 1 pass breakup. All in all, not great. But is there at least going to be any silver lining? We had Swain with an opportunity. He's put in a lot of work this year, and he's starting to feel the results coming through on the field. So that tells me we did get the development boost, probably due to him and with the whole defense giving up less than 200 passing yards, because we gave up a whole lot of rushing. So there's at least that. He's going to get a good bit of XP from it. As for the tandem, I don't expect this went all too well. Though Conley's coming in saying, "You got me fired up heading into this week's game. I envision myself having a big impact." It had me till the very end, but it just didn't happen. So doesn't look like we're going to get anything for him. And on top of that, we did have a whole lot of injuries in this game, and there are 3 that are going to carry on into future weeks. So Bonito, he is going to be out for 4 games. McAllister is going to be out for 4 games. And David Andrews out for 4 games. So we are going to be out 2 starting offensive linemen. Bonito, another 4 weeks. Considering how this year has gone for him, I feel like what we might need to do here is probably put at least Bonito and Andrews both on IR, open up some roster spots, and see what we can make happen next episode. So let's start with that here. Don't go away yet, though. We are going to take a look at what our options are in terms of trade. So Bonito is going on IR, and Andrews will go on IR. Really unfortunate. He was supposed to come in and fix this offensive line. Don't really feel like we've had that. McAllister can come back in and play as soon as he is healthy. Now, obviously, the big talk of the town is going to be at quarterback. And what are our options on the block? Well, there is Geno, there's Jimmy G, there's Zach Wilson, David Mills, no one of which would really bring much of an impact on the block. Though we do know that there is a quarterback that we could acquire from the Texans. Now, unless things have changed, it was actually a pretty decent offer that they were looking for CJ Stroud. Now, again, he has not had a great start to his career. He's an 81 overall. He has the same throw power as Bo Harold, though the accuracies are going to be a lot better. Throw under pressure is an 80, play action 81, throw on the run 83, with about an 80 awareness, actually at a 79. Has the agility, going to be able to move around a little bit more than Bo Harold. But if you look at the stats, they have not been very good. In his first season, he threw 24 touchdowns to 18 interceptions. The next year had 21 touchdowns to 12. His completion percentage, though, still a whole lot better than what we've gotten from our quarterbacks, with a much better QBR. So overall, he might be a better guy for us. Now, have the Texans changed their mind on what they want for him? No, they still want Kenneth Murray. It could be a current 2 and current 5, or we could, they have changed it a little bit because there was a different offer. A current 2, current 4, and then a future 5 2 years from now, or Paulson Adebo. Not going to happen. So it would require a current 2 and a 5. Our current slated picks are as followed. We have 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, a third, 2 fourths, a 5, 3 6s, and 1 7. So we could definitely give up one of those 2, though they are wanting the earlier of those 2. Now, when it comes to defensive tackle, or just defensive line, there just happens to be a widespread amount of just not a lot of top-end guys right now. I went through every single roster to try to find some guys, and the only one that I thought really had people to spare are the Colts. They have DeForest Buckner, Grover Stewart, and then the rookie in Tevin Archibald. Now, I was just going to go after Grover Stewart, right? Figured go with the lower overall guy. Both Buckner and Grover Stewart are both 31. So I was just curious, what do they want? They're not looking to trade either of their guys, and I'm not going after the rookie because it's not really going to improve anything for us. So as for the defensive line, it doesn't look like there's really much of a trade we could make. So we might just have to be patient with the defensive line and probably end up making that trade to bring in Stroud at the top of next episode and see if that provides a spark for this team. Overall, this offense needs a whole lot of work, and the offense is really holding us back. So potentially Stroud might help us out. And then by week 8, if we're not seeing much from that, then maybe another trade. But that will do it for us here. Make sure you stick around to see what moves we end up making at the top of next episode by hitting that bell icon on the bottom right, or scroll down, hit the subscription button, and definitely make sure you tap that bell icon so you're notified of when these videos go live. This series is posted every single Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, with the state-only challenges every Wednesday and Saturday. Tomorrow, being that Wednesday, we'll have the AFC Conference Championship with the Central Plains States Only Challenge. So make sure you're tuning in for that one. And until next time, where, as always, a lot of work to do, we'll see you then. Bye.